Good morning, everybody. This is Mark Wilbur at tushua.com, and this is Phonics Friday number 15, where I help your students get a better handle on English phonics and spelling and the connection between the two. And Happy New Year, everyone. As Captain Picard said on many of my friends' Facebook walls, don't just wish for a good 2013, make it so. Today, I'm going to talk about S's and ES's at the ends of words. Doesn't matter if they're vowels, doesn't matter, I guess maybe I'm not so awake. Doesn't matter if they are plural nouns or if they're third-person verbs where you add an S to the end of them. It's the same kind of pronunciation rules for both. As usual, I'm going to type in a whole bunch of words and let you try to figure out the patterns for yourself, because this isn't just for me to tell you how it is. The idea is for you to learn from this video, and it's a good idea when you're teaching your students also to give them help, but let them figure things out for themselves whenever possible, because people remember longer when they figure it out themselves. Okay, let's see. Dogs, cats, cars, buses, flowers, trees, pens, erasers, books, watches, washes, sledges or sleds, badgers, badges, and bags, and lols. Okay, so you may notice a lot of these S's have a Z sound, and a lot of them have an S sound, and there are also a bunch of words where we use ES, and it sounds kind of like is. So dogs is a Z sound, cats is an S sound, cars is an S sound, is a Z sound, trees is a Z sound, flowers is a Z sound, buses has ES, so it's an is sound. The basic pattern is this. If the sound, it doesn't matter about the letter, but if the sound right before the S is voiced, it's an S sound. It's a Z sound. If it's unvoiced, then it's an S sound. Right before the S isn't voiced, S. Okay. And when do we use an ES? Well, I could go two ways. I could just tell you if you've already got an S at the end, then you like bus, then you need an ES. And by the way, buses can be spelled B-U-S-E-S or B-U-S-S-E-S. The way I look at it is usually you've got the consonant-vowel rule, so you might think this is buses, and that's kind of strange, so you should double the S. Or you could say this ES is just for grammatical reasons. It just pluralizes it, so it has nothing to do with the vowel consonant vowel. You just add it on to the end. And either one makes sense, and a lot of English speakers have probably subconsciously been going with either of those thoughts and spelling them either way, and even dictionaries will generally list both. I think one S is more common in North America and two S's is more common elsewhere, but I'm not 100% positive. Anyway, as I was saying, if you have an S at the end of a word, you really can't add another S sound right after it. So one bus, you can't really say two bus. And same deal with like badges. So this is a J sound. You can't really say badges. It just doesn't. It's not something that we can easily pronounce. Ditto with the CH. We don't say watches or washes. It's almost hard to differentiate. So if you can't reasonably, if you can't reasonably pronounce an S, then use ES, and the sound will be like an IZ. So this is not sled jazz or bad jazz, but it would be badges, watches, washes. This should be pretty comfortable for you, but for non-native English speakers, it's very important to point that out. So that's pretty much it. If it's voiced, use a Z sound. If it's unvoiced, use an S sound. If you can't really add an S sound to it or a Z sound to it, then write ES and you write IZ. There actually are a bunch more rules for how to spell plural versions of nouns, and some words really are exceptions. You know, like there's no way you can really help your students memorize things like one person, lots of people. But there are some more complicated S rules than just adding an S or an ES, and I will cover that next time. One last comment for today's lesson, and that is when you're helping your students, this is a great time to give them all a good laugh. When you're telling them, well, why don't we write BUSS? You know, we add S to all these other words. Why don't we just say bus? Well, tell them you can't really say bus, or try to say watch. And you'll actually get students trying to say stuff like one quiz, two quizzes, and if they're little kids, they'll get a good laugh. If they're older, I guess it depends on their personality. Maybe they'll get a good laugh. Maybe they'll just get a little bit of a laugh. But the more memorable you can make anything you're teaching, the more effective it is. I'm sure most of you already know this. Just wanted to point out the opportunity. So anyway, that's it for today. Next time will be more S rules, and have a good week, everyone.